Hello, everybody, and welcome to Watkins Glen for race number 8 of 14 here in the Mountain Dew Custom Series season. The Heluva Good 100. 13 laps of intense action awaited at probably the most famous road course in the league. But today in the booth, I'm joined by Brandon.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for inviting me to the Watkins Glen Raceway once again. We're ready for 13 laps, and hopefully, like last season, we'll see another chaotic race and see who will be able to survive these 13 laps.
Should be a lot of fun. Let's take a look here at some of your pre-race notes. You got William Duncan having a struggling season. Started it off good at Daytona. He sits 22nd in the point standings, looking to turn his luck around here on a road course.
And Duncan, really, this season has been pretty rough for him. You've seen in the pre-race or the post-race interviews, he's been tearing up. This team has just not been where they were last season, but a pole here could start this second half of the season swing and improve them. Duncan does sit 22nd in points, but at least he is locked in. Hopefully he'll be able to turn it around today.
Second and third on the grid, you got Austin Johnson and then Jacob Rose there in the 45. Those two drivers going to new teams next season. Rose has been signed to Kamikaze Motorsports, and Austin Johnson moving up to the trucks with Diego Yepes Incorporated.
That's interesting for Rose. Of course, he's a road course guy. Going to KGM, they have a pretty strong road course program. You see a bit further back, starting 12th, is Casey Mears, a driver who's very good at the road courses. That could be a dominant threat at the road courses next season, but both of those drivers, Mears and Rose, they haven't really shown the speeds on the ovals. Hopefully, Rose can figure that out for his final 7 races here at RER.
Larry Hagan trying to be a championship threat there in that 28. He obviously got that win at Road America. The other road course ringer, Preston Emmett, starts deep in the field. So Roger Ray, another championship threat right there in the number 40. It fell down to 4th from a poor performance at Myrtle Beach. But cannot forget these two guys back here on row number 5. Zachary Lowell leeching the 53, and then Colton Lane in that 14.
The funny thing about this is the first time DeLello has stepped into a Mountain Dew Custom Series car since he went up to the Crown Royal Truck Series in the Season 2 to Season 3 transition. It's sure to be a good race for him, starting 11th. That 53 car has been fast with Max Anderson. Hopefully Zachary might be able to get up there, maybe even snag a win here in the MDCS.
Have to see, but we're going to bring you down to commands to fire engines here in the Heluva Good 100 from Watkins Glen.
Drivers, start your engines!
And with that command, the field of 35 will roar to life here on the front straightaway. This is a very dynamic road course, just about 2.5 miles in length. A lot of elevation, a lot of fast corners, and a lot of tricky spots that can catch drivers out. Why don't you bring us through some parts of this track?
Turn 1, as they just go through right now, that's going to be a big passing opportunity. We've seen a lot of guys dive it in down there and try to get the run coming off the corner, especially if they go wide in that little short chute up to the S's. The S's is a place you can dive to that inside and be able to make some moves. Now, you got to be on that outside. Well, you'll transition between the inside and outside as you go up through the S's. You just got to keep that pedal down, be able to navigate those corners. You can get a big run off the corner down onto the backstretch.
Taking a look there at Jesse Turner, this is a home race for him, so a lot of eyes on that 29. Further back in the grid, you do have guys like Alex Fletcher, Zachary Fitzwater Jr. making a start, and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. making a start in the 78. Fitzy Jr. missed the race in the number 3. There's Stephen Wallace Jr. looking back. Points leader Logan Cloud just took that win. Taking a look here as we funnel through other guys like Delgado Onjak, Matthew Brown, and Jay Jefferson. Scott Roush making his first start in the 67. That's pretty much it for your grid. But coming down here into the back straightaway, obviously we don't use the bus stop chicane anymore. What's it like snaking down this back straightaway into the carousel?
Now, if you saw last season and you remember the pass for the win, it was Anderson Reed diving under Jordan Forbes in the 28, who got up into the race leader. I do forget who that was, but those two crashed heading into here because this corner is pretty wide, pretty sweeping, and you can carry a lot of speed through it. Just depends on how you enter and exit, where you could coast up the track into those tire barriers. We saw that a lot last season. William Duncan here with Austin Johnson. They're going to be leading us down. If they can lead into the carousel, they're going to have to watch not to coast all the way up the track, because if you coast wide, someone's going to dive under you, get a big run down this back straightaway, and costs you a lot of time heading into the final 2 corners.
And coming in here, turn 6, this is just another corner that you got to get right. Got to make sure you hit the apex, and if you throw it wide, they're really going to challenge in turn 7. But this track is known for being slick, providing a lot of excitement. 13 laps await us here as the pace car leads them down. Will make the hard right-hand turn into the pit lane. William Duncan, Austin Johnson leading the field of 35 down. Coming out of turn 7, starter will have the green flag in his hands momentarily. They bunch up. That'll be all right. We're set to go green here from Watkins Glen, and there it is.
Green flag is in the air. These guys are going to head down into turn 1. You see Jesse Turner making a move already. Further back, Austin Delgado, Mike Cook, but 2x2 up front. Let's just hope you don't go wide as Duncan goes wide, pushes Austin Johnson. Johnson's bouncing, and Rogers dives to the inside. He's looking for the race lead, but slides into second.
An aggressive move from Zach Rogers to go from 4th to 2nd, possibly trying to throw to the outside through turn 3 on Duncan. That 8 car, wicked fast, snuck into the show and has put together a great qualifying lap. Zach Rogers knows what he's up to today here at the Glen.
Look at that 28 back there. Larry Hagan, he knows what happened last season with that 28 car. On the way to a race win, and they cost it in the final corner. Austin Johnson looking to the inside. You got Priya McShane up here. This is her first time at Watkins Glen. Qualified this car in the 6th position. She's right now 6th coming out of the carousel. They're side by side with Larry Hagan, the last driver to win on a road course, or the first driver this season to win on a road course. Preston Emmons was the last one.
Austin Johnson threw a big block on Jacob Rose coming into the carousel. That's what's allowed him to get past Zach Rogers for P2. As they funnel off, looks like nobody has struck danger yet. As, Austin Murray might have got a piece of wall there coming out of 7. But across the line, William Duncan trying to set sail on this field.
Of course, last season we saw a bunch of crashes, even one on the opening lap diving down into turn 1. This season, they slowed the cars down a little bit, but they're still going to be fast. It's still a loose and slick track. You're going to have to make sure you hit those marks and avoid hitting everyone at all possible opportunities. You got guys back here, Logan Cloud, Jay Jefferson, Peter Onjak. They got to fight from the back, move their way to the front if they want to make a move. A bit of a gap between that first and second pack there. They're snaking down back into the carousel.
Larry Hagan trying to throw it up the inside of Jacob Rose. Obviously, Hagan moving up to the Sundrop Cup Series next season for TSR, so that's a big step for him, trying to prove that he could show his might here in the MDCS.
A little further back, you see that number 77 of Bobo Jones. He snuck his way right now into the conversation up near the front as he's working around Priya McShane. This 77 team has been struggling this season. They're 26th in owners points. This is the first time, this is pretty much the highest they've been in a while, as Austin Johnson looks like he might have got the wall up there, and Zach Rogers dives for second. But Bobo Jones, that team's struggling. Another team struggling is that 33 team, but right now he's starting to set sail as they head through turn 1.
Yeah, you see a lot of damage to the side of that Bass Pro Shops Pontiac. Austin Johnson all torn up already. Looking further on back through the field. It's been pretty clean so far, I'll have to say. Looks like all 35 drivers still out there on the track.
And Duncan putting out a big lead. That is what you need here at Watkins Glen. As we said, it's a bit of a different setup this time around, as we saw the amount of crashes last season. It gave one of the best races in NSDCA history, but these guys are still going to be aggressive, especially road course guys like Jacob Rose. He is winless in the NSDCA. However, these road courses are his strong suit. He's up in the 3rd position fighting Austin Johnson. He wants to get a win before he leaves RER.
9 and 45 fighting side by side. Larry Hagan trying to get into this mix as well. Rose throws it just a little bit wide, but that's going to allow him to get a lot of momentum there into 7. He's going to take P3 away as Zach Rogers gets a lot of curb. Mears really getting a lot of curb back there as well. Turner, Monaco making a little bit of contact. They're going to keep it all together. And Duncan setting sail. He's got a 2.5 second lead already on Zach Rogers. But look at this. Bobo Jones, Priya McShane still trying to mix it up as Rogers going wide just a little bit for second.
That is not what Duncan wants to see. This 8 car is pretty underpowered compared to the rest of this grid. It's, of course, this used to be Team Dr. Pepper, now Coors Light Racing, but they've been struggling to make races this season. That car that's beside him, Jacob Rose, one of the best road course drivers in here, in a very strong car. Duncan might still be caught, and don't count out Larry Hagan. He's in one of the best cars in the grid. as they make contact 3 wide into the carousel.
Johnson up the middle. Rogers is wide. Wide. He's going to hit the wall. No, a big save from the 8, but that's really going to hurt that small team as they lose a ton of ground. But that's a little bit over-aggression there from Larry Hagan, trying to make it 3 wide, I think, there into the bus stop, or carousel, excuse me. But they're all able to keep it together. So a very big close scare there here at the Glen.
Johnson, this car is going to look so damaged as he's into the wall again. Now McShane and Jones making it 3 wide. Look at Zachary DeLello for the back contact. And
Sladek around in front of the back of the grid. That's going to bring out a caution. Are they all going to miss him, reversing nearly into his teammate Yamakaze. So a first caution of the day, lap 5, and William Duncan's hopes may have just been shattered. He took it out to 3.5 seconds there, and now the rest of the field is going to be right on his bumper.
Now, of course, these guys, the caution came out after most of these guys came across the line, so they still have time to race back around. And a 3.5-second lead, Rosenhagen might not have been able to catch him if he didn't make mistakes, but they'll be on his back bumper now, and Jacob Rose is aggressive. He wants to win. So does Larry Hagan, as we're on board with the 28 as they head through the carousel, going back to take the caution.
All over the back bumper of Rose. Can he possibly make something work here in 6 and 7? No threat from behind. Hagan trying to look to the outside maybe in 6. Can't quite do it. Late on the brakes, though. All over the back of this 45. They might be side by side here in a 7. Rose goes it a little wide. Here comes Hagan. Oh, contact!
Contact, and Hagan is going to take the second spot away from Rose with that mistake. But we are going to be set for a wild restart here. The pace laps are only about 2 laps here at Watkins Glen, so we should still have enough time left to see some more action. But a wild first 5 laps. Matt Sladek went around at the back. I think he might have got into Austin Murray. So coming down the back straightaway, Larry Hagan, Austin Johnson side by side. Larry comes up into the 9. Johnson hits the grass, and then Larry hit the back of the 8, sent Zach Rogers wide. They carried on, kept going for a few more laps, but Rogers lost a lot of time in that altercation with the TSR 28.
Through the final set of corners here, Matt Sladek trying to get around Austin Murray. Throws up to the inside when he sees Murray get wide, but he drives it in too deep as well. Murray hits the wall, bounces into Sladek, and that 0 car loses control. A lot of championship contenders back here. They're going to all miss that spinning 0 in the middle of the track. Let's go back to the restart here, just around the halfway point in the Heluva Good 100.
What's up?
Tough call, pasta. Large cold brew?
Better make it a medium. I only have 2 minutes.
Hey, Rep, check your voicemail. You missed some calls.
Wow, she knows your order?
Yeah, I'm pretty much a regular here.
Where there's hockey, there's Dunkin'. So grab a cold brew for game time. America runs on Dunkin'.
The bank's closing costs are very competitive. I'll just open these blinds to let in a little extra light.
Tired of brokers and lenders who promise one thing and surprise you later? Take control with a name you can trust. Just call or log on to ditech.com and trade in your adjustable mortgage for a new low fixed rate loan and get cash for any purpose.
Lost another loan to Ditech.
Log on to ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED.
Is Mountain Dew in serious jeopardy? This generally harmless male will defend his domain with basic animal instinct. A fierce battle rages. Yet in the end, to the victor go the spoils.
Hey man, how you feeling?
Not bad.
Until next time, do the do.
Lights are off on the Pontiac pace car here in the Heluva Good 100. Just coming off of our first caution today. Matt Sladek went around to the back of the field making contact with Austin Murray. So William Duncan, Larry Hagan, Jacob Rose, Bobo Jones, and Austin Johnson are your top 5. But I want to take a look toward the back of the grid more because Alex Fletcher here toward the middle of the pack just around P20, but further back you have guys like Preston Emmons, Stephen Wallace Jr., and Logan Cloud. A little bit further back, the 39 of Antoine Smith. Further back, you have the 44 of Peter Onjak and 01 of Matthew Brown. So you've got a lot of contenders struggling here today at the Glen. A lot of good guys toward the back.
It's going to be pretty hard for them to gain back up these spots. Of course, you can make a lot of mistakes on this long racetrack, but it's going to be real hard. Just over halfway, we'll be going back green with about 7 laps to go. You're going to have to really put it into overdrive if you want to pick up some spots, but I think this is when we'll see the chaos that we saw last season at Watkins Glen.
Is William Duncan going to be lucky and be able to drive away, or is he going to be ambushed by Larry Hagan, Jacob Rose, skilled road course drivers? All the top 4 are skilled road course drivers, but Austin Johnson didn't seem like a big road course threat last year, but he was up there at Watkins Glen before making contact with his teammate last season, Colton Lane. MSA Watkins Glen, they've had some bad luck with teammates. Will it happen again between these two? Pace car going to peel down, and we're going to get set to go back green.
William Duncan, Larry Hagan, Jacob Rose, Bobo Jones, Austin Johnson lead us down. It's going to be just 7 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. We're back racing. Hagan dives to the inside. Lane dives down. Monaco's diving. Murray's diving. Ray's diving. And this is the battle for the lead down into 1.
Full set, Hagan. Duncan not afraid to give him the bumper. Rose. Oh, Jacob Rose just blew his own race by that move. Oh, I guess not. I thought he was going to throw it into the tires, but a really aggressive move out of that 45 does not pay off for him. But the aggressive move from the 28 does, as he survives the bump from Duncan. We are clean in the back as well.
That's one thing about these restarts. You just cannot defend 3 lanes into turn number 1. Guys will go 2, 3. We've seen 4 wide in the past. Of course, that doesn't work, but we've seen aggressive moves into turn 1. Now Duncan is chasing. He's not in that clean air anymore, trying to make a move. Look at Casey Mears and Zachary DeLello starting to make their way towards the front in that 66 and 53, but Duncan, Bobo now chasing Larry Hagan.
Coming into turn 6, Duncan still right there with the 28. These 2 cars are the best 2 cars here today. Bobo Jones trying to capitalize. Duncan trying to think about an outside move. I don't know if that's going to work. Loses just a tiny bit of time, not too much. Bria McShane really getting racy there off of turn 7, but down into turn 1. Does Duncan make a move? Does Bobo Jones make a move? Someone's into the pits. That looks like Jay Jefferson. Nothing wrong with him. I don't know why he pit. Oh, man. Contact for the race lead.
Duncan's getting aggressive. You know, William Duncan, he has no wins yet, but he has that 1 pole at Daytona last season. That's pretty much the crowning achievement. He's up here in second, fighting Hagan, and he does not want to lose this race without putting up a fight. He's right there trying to get that draft. You see Jacob Rose, he threw it in on the restart, almost lost it and bended in the tire barriers. He's making a move for third on Bobo Jones. But Bobo, this could be a great race to build momentum for DYI, a struggling Mountain Dew Custom Series program. He's right now side by side with Rose for third. And it's Austin Johnson, Colton Lane, and you see Zach Rogers. He's still back there. He could be hungry to get back up and fight.
Rogers has been going wide in the carousel for the last couple laps. I think he's overdriving his tires for that weak equipment currently. But boy, William Duncan showing the aggression, showing that he can still drive, and trying to prove these haters wrong. He's not afraid to use the bumper. He's used it the last 2 times down into turn 1. But Hagan just might be too far away this time. Here we go. MSA teammates slide into each other.
Contact between those two as they come off the corner. Colton Lane looking for that spot. Now Bobo Jones looking for the move on William Duncan up here. That's not going to work. Hagan ran a bit wide through turn 1. These guys are trying to catch up, but they are just hoping that they will have enough time to catch that ever-fast number 28. He has 1 road course win this season. The first race after that equipment swap for TSR. He has some of the best cars in the grid. He's looking to race this one into victory lane, but last season the 28 also had the strongest car in the grid, was dominant, and threw it away in the final run through the carousel. Duncan and Bobo battling behind Larry Hagan. Rose now under attack from Colton Lane.
Duncan threw it wide a little bit in the carousel. That got him a better drive off, but Hagan still trying to check out. Let's take a look. Jay Jefferson still surviving, looking back up through the field. Nothing much happening back here, but let's go back up to the front. Hagan trying to hang on. Duncan still there pushing. Rose trying to push as well. He goes a little bit wide. He's under attack from the 14 Colton Lane right now, coming down into turn 1. Just 3 to go, so if we get a caution, that should end it here from the Glen. Now Rose and Lane side by side for 4th. Yeah, Lane's going to get it here coming up into the S's.
And Lane now on the charge for MSA. Austin Johnson dropping back with some of that right side damage, but Lane is moving strong. But William Duncan, he's pulling a bit away from Bobo, trying to reel in that number 28. It could be very important for him to do that. Behind Lane is Jacob Rose. He's got wide on that restart, got sent off almost into the tires. He's back in 5th. His race might be done. Roger Ray and Zach Rogers now fighting with Casey Mears in the wings. KGM looking for a strong finish. The road courses are where Casey Mears has had his best finishes in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. He's up here inside the top 10, and you got Priya McShane in her debut at Watkins Glen. She's sitting right there in 10th.
Looks like the threat from behind has been relaxed for William Duncan, so he can set his sights on Hagan. Watching this battle here in the late teens between the 3 Dodge teams. Roger Race racing for the championship. And look at this. Hagan might have ran it a little bit wide. I think he did run it wide because Duncan blows past for the lead even before they get to the braking zone.
And that's great for Duncan. He's trying everything he can to win this race. It's 2 laps to go. The next flag ends it. Casey Mears made a big move on Ray and Zach Rogers further back. They're fighting, and Mears now into the 7th position. Zachary DeLillo looking for a top 10 on Priya McShane, but up front, it's all William Duncan out in front. He just has to hit his marks 2 more times, but Larry Hagan in that 28 car is bad fast, and you will see him suck right up to the back of that 33 as they head down into the carousel.
Duncan, does he keep it low? What line does he take? He goes it wide, but Hagan goes wide as well. That is a big insurance net for Duncan, although he does lose a little bit of time. Hagan went wide as well, and just like Larry, he didn't throw that lead away. Coming into turn 6, Duncan, a very defensive line in. Is he going to go wide because of it? Oh, just a little bit. Hagan's going to be there. All over him, to the outside, coming to the white flag.
And Hagan trying, he got loose off the corner. Rose fighting Lane, but William Duncan is 1 lap away from taking his first win. You got drivers Bobo Jones back there. He is not one in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. Hagan,
Wait, look!
One.
Lane, look, that's not going to work. Rose trying to make a move on Lane. That didn't work as well. Rogers just a little bit wide. Don't think he won around, though. Can Duncan hang on? The tires are worn. The track is still slick, and it's going to be all out. Caution's out. We've had an accident. Big wreck. Cloud. Championship implications. Racing back, though. Who's going to take the victory?
William Duncan just has to not throw it in like this. Hagan, the 28, was in this exact moment, and they binned it last time. He's going to take it. He's going to take it nice and slow through. But Duncan up in front. He's trying to win this race. Coming down the back straightaway to the final 2 corners for the last time.
Can he hang on? A big threat behind. Larry Hagan still there. And what would it mean for William Duncan to get this? One more corner. One more tricky corner. We've seen everything happen here. Duncan keeps it down low. He's going to do it. Off the final corner. William Duncan saves his career and has won the Heluva Good 100.
Great performance by the 33. That restart almost cost him, but he was able to get back under Larry Hagan, and he took the race victory, his first of his career. That is a feel-good story for Ditech. Look at other drivers, though. Casey Mears comes out with an 8th place finish, another top 10 at the road courses this season. Jesse Turner coming home with 10th. Priya McShane, 9th. Jacob Rose, 6th. Rockstar Energy Ditech making very good runs today, as well as JP, DYI, but it's the Ditech number 33 of William Duncan taking the victory at the Glen.
If I can get the camera there. Matthew Brown, Scott Roush got involved in that last lap incident, but William Duncan, what a moment for Ditech. What a moment for all these guys. Larry Hagan, still a great run. He snuck past Duncan on the restart, but Duncan fought him hard and well. And it was a mistake out of Larry Hagan, something we didn't see at Road America. That's going to cost him the victory by going wide with just coming to 2 to go.
And it looks like that the new setups that they brought in for Watkins Glen worked. We didn't see as much carnage this time around, but we still had a great race to the end. William Duncan just edging out one of the best cars in the garage, Larry Hagan, and the other best car, Colton Lane, coming home 4th. That is a great performance today for William Duncan and that team. They are sure to be partying tonight.
But before we sign off here from Watkins Glen, we've got a few replays to watch, and let's head over to the studio for that one. This was the moment. Coming to 2 to go. Larry Hagan trying to drive away with this race lead. Gets late on the brakes, throws it wide, loses grip, hits the safer barrier, and that allows William Duncan to sneak past in the 33 and drive away with this race victory.
White flag flies coming down into turn 1. Logan Cloud has been mired in traffic all day long, and he's just trying to pick up some spots here at the end to try to salvage some points. He's going to dive it in. You see John Dilks, he goes for a wider line, but Cloud goes for a tighter line, gets on the gas a little too early and bounces up into Dilks. Both of them go spinning, and Antoine Smith nowhere to go. Both Evernham drivers getting damage in this one. Great avoidance by Mikey Yamakaze at the bottom, but Matthew Brown, nowhere for him to go. He just gets a piece of it, and the 67 of Scott Roush piles into the 68, sends him spinning, but heavy damage to the 67. Hopefully the Watkins Glen winner's purse that Duncan just got will be able to repair those damages for the 67. But we had a big spin at the end to bring out the final caution of the day, take us to the checkered flag.
On board with Scott Roush, and Cloud's been a known critic of Dilks, so it might have been a little bit rivalry here, but I think this one's all on the 79 for driving it in hard. Roush timed that just like a second earlier, he would have been through that gap, but a risk was taken, the risk did not work. I think Ditech was just happy that the 67 made it in at all. Thanks everybody for watching here from Watkins Glen. William Duncan takes a much needed victory for himself, his confidence, and his team. Not only his career as well, that he got by sneaking past Larry Hagan, the other dominant car of the day. So a lot of eventful moments here from the Glen. A lot of championship shakeups, I'm sure, as the points roll across your screen. Thanks Brandon for coming out today, and the Crown Royal Truck Series will be going from the Corsair at the Glen shortly after this. Till next time, the Mountain Dew Custom Series, signing off from New York.
Oh my gosh, if Duncan loses now.
Yeah.
Oh,
they just both went wide.
Sladek going wide.
Hey, it's the NSDCA. We can't ever see a lead change.
That's Cloud's. That's Cloud's fault.
Yeah, if he...
Oh, he took out Antoine.
Oh!
Oh. So coming down to turn 2, or 2004 Bass Pro Shops MBNA.